CG Market Watch.
Alright, so on CG Market Watch today, we have a few news up and coming. So what's the first news, Mike?
The first news is that Goldman Sachs CEO, Lloyd Blankfein, said it was arrogant to think that cryptocurrency wouldn't be successful.
Yep.
Okay, so in this piece, right, he basically gave a brief history of money. So way before we have all our USD and all our Visa, PayPal, we used gold as a form of currency.
Yeah.
And then they started printing paper money because gold is really heavy to carry around. But the paper money was pegged to gold. So each dollar was represented by an equivalent amount of gold. And after a while, they demolished this system and they set up the just USD paper value money.
Right.
So they had nothing backing up the money. Everything was just pegged to the USD value. And each of this is, if I said that USD is worth $5, the US government recognizes it as $5 and that's where it gets its worth from.
Yeah, I mean, the value of money has changed over time, right? So if I remember correctly, if I'm wrong, gold was actually used as a currency back in the 18th centuries, in 1840s, if I'm not wrong, or 17th centuries, right? And then after that, it became cash, and therefore it was being printed, right? Even to today, printing of money called quantitative easing is still a way, to control how the economy is moved, right? In that sense, yep.
So his statement was, if you go through the fiat currency, where they say this is worth what it's worth, because I, the government, says it is, why couldn't you have a consensus currency? And in this sense, a consensus currency would likely refer to Bitcoin, something that users determine what the price is. There is no underlying gold asset tag to it. There's no real world stuff other than the energy used to mine it.
Yeah, I mean, my question is actually, why is Goldman Sachs CEO making this point at this moment, right? I mean, JP Morgan, that famous dude who said something last year, caused the market to tank, and this time around Goldman Sachs is nicely saying at about the same period and saying, we shouldn't come to a judgment so quickly. So
it's the opposite of tanking, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so are you saying that Goldman Sachs are more supportive of cryptocurrency in Wall Street? Does it mean that?
It also says that they're operating a cryptocurrency trading desk.
There you go. See?
There's a reason behind every statement.
There you go, precisely.
But they're saying that it's because they're listening to their clients and they're trying to help their clients as they explore those things too. Those things referring to cryptocurrency.
Pretty noble, huh? Okay, and next. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the first one about the trading desk. Now next up we cover another piece of important news. Exchange traded funds. So the Toronto Stock Exchange adds a new blockchain exchange traded fund, and they added it yesterday, 21st June.
Okay.
So this trading fund, unlike instead of buying into regular ICO projects or other cryptocurrency projects, they buy into companies that provide hardware and services that power the blockchain technology. So we're talking about companies like NVIDIA, Hive Blockchain Technologies, and Digital Reality Trust Inc. So what do you think about this, Andy? How do exchange traded funds help the regular financial market, and how is it going to affect blockchain industry?
Well, we kind of actually spoke about this before. Exchange traded funds, okay, Toronto Stock Exchange is not as well known as NYSE, right? Toronto actually represents Canada, right? And so when we talk about ETF or exchange traded funds, and you think about accredited investors, high net worth clients who, are kind of maybe aged or kind of have no time to explore cryptocurrencies or trying to get into the market, ETFs is one of the safest and one of the easiest way for them to get in, right? They just need to pay a management fee annually, say 2 to 3%, and therefore the Toronto Stock Exchange will help them to manage their funds in that sense. So that gives convenience and ease, for the high net worth clients or for people to trade, because it's not an easy market to understand. So if I want to stomach certain risk per se and I want certain gains, then I'll go for ETFs because it's something easy and I'm here for the long term. So then volatility doesn't really affect me.
If I'm not wrong, they also diversify it for you, right?
Yeah,
so they pick assets that tend to not correlate with each other.
Agreed. But the whole entire idea here about funds is that basically they actually make more than what they're giving you, right? So they basically take your funds and then they trade it. Maybe the returns is say 10 to 20%, be in crypto. But they will say, okay, this year we did good. I'm going to give you 5 to 7.5%. right? So they'll just eat into that margin. So that's how they
Still beats
actually,
the bank.
yeah. So that's actually how they actually make profit. If you really analyze it, you really understand it. That's how they make it. Like even endowment plans, savings plan, insurance plans. That's what they do, right? So I'm not a very big believer in 3% because that doesn't even win the inflation in the first place.
But the
right?
ETF would likely make it easier for fresh money to come in.
Definitely,
and
fresh
a
money.
larger volume.
Yeah,
Right,
but that
what you're
also
saying.
assumes that Toronto Stock Exchange does and do buy into the market. You know, if they don't, it's just future contract for differences, CFDs, then it doesn't make a difference, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm just shorting, longing the market based on using US dollar tech value. Doesn't make a difference.
So, I mean, these two pieces of news, they seem quite positive, but yet Bitcoin is not doing very well.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we should talk about this, right? Why did it tank so badly, right? I mean,
So badly.
while we are recording this video, it's like 6 p.m. Singapore time.
And
okay?
the price is
And the price is, drum roll, 6.4.
409, according
really?
to mine.
Okay, for mine here is 6331.
I guess mine's just lower.
Alright, so anyway, I'm following Poppy's rate, okay, $6,331. It's actually dropped about 400 plus, right, since this morning. And if you analyze the coin market cap, it actually went down by about 18 billion, right, 18 billion. So we actually went through we were actually speculating on what actually caused this particular dip and this particular tanking, right? Any news from
It's
you?
Friday. So people just want to close up their trades and enjoy the weekend.
Okay, so Mike, as a typical, friendly guy, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, a friendly neighborhood guy, feels that it's a taking profit day, right? I mean, traders do that, right? Because they want to enjoy the weekends, they do not want to manage their trade as much. So that could be one of the reasons. Second reason is also from the FSA, right?
Okay.
Which is the Japanese financial services agency in that sense. They basically they are planning to regulate the cryptocurrency exchanges, and they are implementing harsher rules into it as well. All right, so that could be the second one. Now, thirdly, I personally feel perhaps it could be because of the strength of US dollars, and in order to get out of the volatility of the market, they are getting into US dollars, right? So it's just a very simple hedging out of whatever profits they have made this week, which actually isn't much, right? But that could be the plan.
Or the SEC has made another move and people are scared again.
Yeah, or there could be another hack, right, that we are unaware of. So
Poor Plexcoin has gotten seized twice.
okay, cool.
SEC.
Yeah. Okay. So it could be another hack, right, that we are unaware of, right? So
And
which
there's the World
exchange?
Cup.
And there's the World Cup, low volume, right?
So you shouldn't be worried too much. I mean, there are many, many small factors. They just happen to happen at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so on a lighter note, we are talking about a new coin launched by a very famous person.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess his name?
Yeah, the guy who sang Lonely, right? Lonely.
Yes, it's Acon.
Right.
And he's launching his new coin called Acoin.
Not Econ, like
Yes, it's Acoin.
not a nut, okay? Econ
Okay,
nut. Okay.
so as with all youngsters, we are a bit skeptical when they say a celebrity is endorsing a cryptocurrency
Yep.
because some of them have turned out to be scams.
I mean, Floyd Mayweather did that too, right?
Centra, right?
Centra.
Yeah,
it
and
happened,
that was real bad.
Yep.
Okay, but Acon, on the other hand, he has been in this humanitarian industry, humanitarian works
Yeah.
for quite some time. So since about 2014, he started the Acon Lightning project.
Yep.
Its aim was to provide electricity to countries in Africa for cheap. So they built solar panels, they help them set up the infrastructure to ensure that these homes get electricity. And it has set up routes in about 18 countries. It has about 5,000 employees. So not only do they get electricity, they actually get jobs,
Right.
which is very important in Africa.
Yep.
And now they're saying that he's starting up his new Acoin coin, which is meant for a new city, which he already has the land for. Like the president actually gave him land to build a city.
A new city that's hidden from the rest of the world with purple barrier. Okay,
Well,
so
it
yeah.
wasn't derived from the movie, but okay, close enough.
Yeah, so the company is said to have structured some 400 million worth of solar deals to date, right? So I guess it has a certain revenue. It could be quite altruistic on its sense.
But as
what do you
in, I
think?
think
Yeah.
he could be looking for profit as well. I mean,
Yeah.
he is a business person. This blockchain targets youths in Africa. So he's saying that 50% of them are relatively young, but they have problems starting their own businesses. They
Okay.
have problems with cash flow.
Okay.
So this cryptocurrency could be a new way for them to create an ecosystem on their own. So within this ecosystem, they can borrow from each other with Acoin tokens. They can provide services, and it will be a good way for them to start boosting their economy, especially when they have received difficult situations from the government.
Yep.
Not very coordinated in their attempts to help them. Maybe development's a bit slower. Now they can take matters into their own hands. And I think this appeals to youngsters, right? Like blockchain technology, controlling yourself.
Yep. So all in all, in this episode of CG Market Watch, the point that we want to transfer to all of you is that this week, you know, especially just closing off for the week, right? We have a lot of good news this week, and you know, building up, there were many hacks. There were, you know, CEO being kidnapped, and incidents like that, right? That you have seen in previous episodes. Our point here is this: in crypto world, things can happen rapidly, very, very quickly, right? Hacks happens, exchanges. Things happen, right? Certain tokens get launched and things like that. But the whole entire idea here is regulations have to kick in, okay? That will temper and that will slow down the market for now. But in the long and medium term, if you're always looking at the blockchain space, you're looking at cryptocurrencies per se, it's always a good space when you look at it medium to long term.
And if you're lazy to look at the news, just watch us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good, right? Isn't that the best way to summarize your week? Okay, so thank you for tuning in to CG Market Watch, and we look forward to the next episode.
Like, share, subscribe downstairs, comment, tell us if you want anything new.
Yeah, downstairs again. So like, comment, subscribe below. Alright, thank you. Take care, guys.